viewers, the experimental branch of Railroaders had a new update, 2024.6.3, which introduces timetables. Now, I've had a look at the video and it's quite comprehensive. I might also note, just happens to be, Railroaders on sale right now on Steam. Anyway, our long-awaited... Actually, before I get into it, for those who may not have visited my videos before, I read the articles from Steam and forums and various other places to help improve the accessibility of the information for those who can't or won't go and read it for themselves. Our long-awaited 2024.6.3 update is here. The big new feature is timetables. Check out the new video below, which gives you an overview as well as in-depth instructions. We've also added new buildings, quality of life features and enhancements, and a raft flat car of bug fixes. You'll also note that if you're on the experimental branch, 2024.6.3 includes some class changes, which means all your mods are dead. So I dare say the people who build things will bring the mods back in time. Check out the mods on the Railroader Discord to get more information there. Anyway, we'll come back to the video because there's a few things I want to chat about that actually appear in that video. I'll go through the release notes. We've added timetables. Timetables must be enabled in company settings and for passenger trains. Cause passengers to gather accordingly. Additionally, auto engineers of timetable passenger trains will wait until the timetable departure time. For details, see the timetable section in the guide or watch the video above, which we'll do shortly. Now, that makes it sound like timetables are going to be there no matter what. Not true. What that wording actually means is you need to opt in. You need to go and turn them on. And after you've turned them on, if you don't like them, you can turn them off. We've added the Ella Farm Supply building and others. Thanks, Ben, aka XYV Oracle, extended track at Ella Farm Supply to suit. Now, I've had a mod at Ella, so I'll probably take that out because it kind of did what this does, and that's fine. Added multiplayer settings, Train Master manages crew assignments and restrict equipment control to train crew. So they're basically changing some of the roles a little bit to make them a little bit more constraining so that if you're playing in a particular role, you get access to some different features. Assigning the train crew of a steam engine now assigns the train crew of its tender. Existing engines need to be unassigned and reassigned in order to set the tender train crew. I actually don't run crews on mine, so that doesn't worry me too much. If you're running in multiplayer, you probably need to run crews so that you can actually have enough people. I did just notice in the icon there that there's actually 2 people. Does that mean we're getting a fireman now? I haven't noticed actually. Anyway, crews panel in settings now shows crews with active auto engineers as active. So maybe there's a point in actually adding more crews now. Added a time window to ease advancing time, available by clicking the clock in the top right corner, F3 by default, or via the company settings panel. So if you want to jump forwards in time, you can. Added shift click on angle clock to toggle between open and close, or jump to nearest if in the middle. Now that is really good because there's been a strange interaction between the camera and the angle clocks, and if you're in a strange zoom level or something like that, the ankle cocks can take about 5,000 turns to open it. If you can now just shift click on the angle cock itself to toggle it, that is great. Rail ends are now properly rendered with faces. So, no, not that kind of face. It just means there's actually an end to the track if you look at it. Changed a default minimum passenger stop duration to 1 minute. Changed the slider minimum to 30 seconds. So you can now stop at the stations for a little bit less time. Re-added seconds to the top right corner HUD as time is 1:1. Wait and time console commands now accept the hours:-minute format in times in addition to decimal hours. Adjusted the auto-engineer waypoint routing to be more likely to run around when the run-around distance is not short. Fixed automatic engineer disabling cutout when in a rear end helper configuration. Well, that's handy. Improve the consistency of terrain loading performance. Baggage cars can now be sent to repair tracks. Fixed joining the game from Steam Invite when Railroader is not already running. So that's for multiplayer. Fixed auto-engineer waypoint stopping if switch behind it is lined differently than it wanted it. Yeah, that was an interesting one. If the train had passed it and you changed the switch, or another AE changed the switch for some reason, the first one would stop and go, oh, my track's not lined anymore. But it didn't matter because it was past it. Fixed AE waypoint lining switches that are behind a fusee. Well, that's good as well because I use the fusees to help with meets and things like that where there's no signalling. Fixed, and that means it'll leave the route alone when it can't get past it. Fixed AE waypoint lining switches that are behind a signal, causing the signal to drop. That is also useful. Fixed AE waypoint repeatedly lining a switch when its moves would put it within fouling distance of both. Yeah, you watch the points go whoop, 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 whoop. Fixed AE waypoint blowing its whistle when first engaging. Fixed AE trains unexpectedly coupling to cars in cases where the leading car is far from the engine. Improved consistency of auto-engineer calculation of fouling point. That's good, they won't hit each other quite so often. Updated auto-engineer documentation to refer to the HUD, added control mode and status labels. Windows now remember their position and size between game sessions. Yay! Modal alerts now automatically focus the text field. Added check to lower user interface scale if current settings would cause the preferences panel to be inaccessible. Fixed the coal loaders starting and stopping during loading. Fixed oiling tooltip appearing on steam engines when oiling feature is disabled. Fixed the cars keeping hotbox status if the hotbox occurred before turning off oiling and hotboxes. Fixed tooltips going off screen when mouse cursor is at lower or right edge. Fixed CTC markers disappearing when dropped in a specific position between CTC panel faces. This change causes marker positions on the center panel to be moved slightly from the previous save. Selected known issues with AE waypoint mode. Displays incorrect notices such as switch against when reaching a waypoint. So we know about that one. May fail to couple to another set of cars, particularly when it's already very close to the cut. There are times when you need to back the engine up and bring it in again, so you often just pop over to manual mode to resolve that. May appear to be stuck with status couple when it cannot move to clear a switch points due to undercoupled cars on the other end, even if the points are already lined. Selected internal adjustments relevant for modders. Moved passengers stop to model.ops namespace. Moved team track configuration fields public. Now, the reason that those are important, those are the changes that have basically taken out all of the mods. So I think track mods are still okay, but you need to have things like rail loader and strange customs working to be able to actually use those mods. And as at the time of recording this video, they're not working. Now, I'm sure both of those will get updated very quickly to the experimental branch. The people that run those mods are right on it. So they're very popular and well used by the community. So I'm pretty sure they'll update very, very quickly. Right then, let's scroll back up to the top because we're not going to run through all of the video, but let's just have a quick look. So
This is Adam, the creator and lead developer.
You can hear him chatting about timetables. Let's just find a bit that I wanted to tell you. Why is this such low quality? It's just 1080. There we go. It's better. All right, now let's just find a bit right here. So this is a timetable they've got. Now there's two cool things about this. The first thing, in my nomenclature, I'd use up and down rather than westbound and eastbound. So I'm kind of hoping you can change that, but that's okay. But the things that it does do well is it's using train numbers, and it's saying that odd train numbers are west and even train numbers are east. I quite like that.
split it
And you can have a separate timetable for your branch lines. So the Alaka one can be separate, which is really handy. Now, another useful spot, he explains the east and west. So it's anything east and west of Whittier, I believe. Now, what have we got? There was another spot that was handy.
you should expect it to
All right, this is adding the timetables.
I want to make that an absolute time.
So you can have exact times and you can have relative times. So you can have a
so I'm going to set the
set of times that are relative to each other and just specify the time distance. Railroad is actually giving you an estimate, which is really handy for getting the times roughly right and giving you a little bit of slack time if you have some meets or something like that on the way.
here in the timetable editor. So I could do that right
The
now.
other interesting thing was being able to tick Governor's Island, which suggests that maybe there's going to be a station there at some point. What else was interesting in the video?
This timetable, we'd be all set. We don't need to do
This one has only got one.
which is to associate the engine with that train crew. So I've opened the inspector for
This is one for giving a,
switch the operations tab, train crew.
he's allocating a train crew.
Passenger train 19 west.
So you now allocate crews to the actual train itself, not just to the engine. So that may be enough of a change to actually make me think about doing crews, whereas to date I haven't really.
And now because that engine has a train
Now this is cool.
that is a
You can
timetable train,
copy
now I can say
your station stops from the timetable.
automatically
That's really handy. I like that.
stops. And then I'll do copy to coupled so that all of the coaches are
Now the other interesting bit,
is pretty much ready to go.
is
So
it that one?
following 2 hours. So if your train was particularly late, there may not be many more
No,
people
that's
waiting.
times. Not worried about times.
Let's look at one more thing. Let's open up our
There's our train out of there.
again. So the way to do this properly would be to add a new train, 55, which goes from maybe it goes from Bryson direct to Alarga. Let's say.
So here he's adding in the.
And then we would add another one, an eastbound back the other way. For
He's
example.
adding a train from Bryson to Alaka by the looks of it.
And looking back here at our train 19, there's a little bit of a bug that I just.
Now, what I'm not clear on is when you add trains, does it actually affect the routing? That I'm not sure about.
If I do check
So
Cochrane,
that'd be an interesting
it's still
thing.
allowing me to select
Don't know.
locations that are.
So he's not running it from Bryson. He is actually just running it the Alaka branch, like I do. He's running those separately.
Item for my bug list and for a future release to fix.
All right, I think that was about it for interesting things from the video, but it's a massive update, and I think it's going to be quite interesting. So I'll be curious to get into timetables. I'm going to wait until the mods I use start working again, and we will go from there. So expect a stream where I'm building timetables, I guess, and just to see how that works. Alrighty. That's it for now on this one. Have fun, folks. I will include a link to this video in the description of this one. So this Railroader video. Do encourage you to go and have a look at that if you're interested in timetables. He actually explains it really, really well. And this is a huge achievement especially when you consider that Railroader, there's a few graphic artists, but there's not one lead developer. And so, yeah, doing some great stuff. Alrighty, have fun, folks. Enjoy yourselves. And if you've got any comments or questions, chuck them down below and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Don't ask me questions on how to set the timetable up yet because I haven't actually done it yet. I'll do that. I'll probably do it live on a stream, actually. So if the mods come back, maybe next Sunday we'll do Railroader. Alrighty, have fun, folks. That's it for now, and we shall see you later. If you celebrate, have a Merry Christmas, and if you don't, bah humbug. Bye now. See ya.
We played a game.